Our next task is to find the zeros or x-intercepts of the function, or of a function. If you're following the tutorial from the previous one, we're actually going to create a new function, and this would be a good chance to show you how to clear this and start from fresh. Probably the easiest way to start from fresh and clear anything is to go to the home screen and on button. You'll see the document menu on the left, and let's just start a new document. We're going to press 1, and no, we don't want to save the current document, so I can either tab and press enter or just click on no. We're going to add a graph again. So that's one way to kind of completely clear out what you were doing. We'll show you some other ways to just kind of start a new graph while still working within the document a little bit later. For right now, the graph that I'm going to graph, I'm going to write it out first. Let's do something like this. Let's go f of x is equal to, let's go negative x squared plus 6. That'll be simple enough to do. We're going to graph this one, so let's look at this. Oops. We're going to go f1 of x negative, not the minus, but the negative, x squared plus 6. Press enter. So this gives us a graph, and if I kind of sketch here for a second, or what I can actually do is pull this in a little bit. Let's take a screen clipping, because I want to draw on this for a second. What I see here are two x-intercepts, one here and one here, and I want to find out what the xy ordered pair of each of these are. Well, I know that the y is 0, that's what an x-intercept means. So I just need to figure out, well, what are the two x's? You can see from this graph that there's a bit of symmetry here too. We're going to learn that this thing up here is called the vertex, and the vertex creates an axis of symmetry so that we have a symmetry to the left and to the right. This vertex may not always be along the y-axis, so given that, we may have to kind of change, what we do. We can't just always find one and assume that the other one's the negative of that. So we're going to go back to the graph, and we're going to use the value thing to find the zeros. So let's hit the menu button. Pretty much anything you want to do on the menu within the graph is going to be in the graph menu. And it's context-based. When you're within the graph and hit menu, it opens only options relative to the graph. I'm going to hit Analyze Graph, and you'll see the first option is 0. Remember 0, roots, x-intercepts are all the same thing. I'm going to hit that, and what I see is a vertical line that appears with a question at the bottom left. That question here says lower bound, question mark. What it means is we want to figure out which one we're going for and move this vertical line to the left of that. Let me go back to my sketch. When I say figure out what it's going for, what I mean is we can only target one of the x-intercepts at a time. I can't do both at the same time, so I'm going to target the left one. I'm going to choose to target this one. Now, I'm going to take my vertical line, and my goal is to move my vertical line so that it's to the left of that somewhere. So let's go back to the graph. If I start to move it left and right, and you're going to move it either by pressing the arrow keys, or probably more easier is just using the mouse and sliding it left and right. Move it so that it is just left of it, and then you're going to click the center button. Just kind of click. So I'm going to click. It's going to save your spot, and a second vertical line is going to appear with a question now that says upper bound. That means I want to move it to the right of where it crosses. So we moved it to the left, and then we're going to move it to the right. A highlighted region is going to appear while we're kind of identifying the bounds. You can see that as I move this, it's a little highlighted. Now, as I move it to the right and cross over the 0, a label appears that says 0. As soon as that label appears, click to save where you are. And you'll see that an ordered pair appears that identifies it as negative 2.45, 0. Now, one of the things I can do to kind of keep my graph from getting too crowded is to take this and move this text a little bit to the left. If you click on this and hold your click, it's called click and hold on this thing until the hand turns into a kind of more of a closed hand. I'm going to try to simulate this on here. You can see that if I click and hold, the hand's going to simply close, and then while it's closed, I can move this thing over using the mouse, and then click again to let go. That takes a little bit of practice to get used to. Right now we're going to identify the other one, so go ahead, see if you can remember. You can pause this video and check to see if you know how to do it. We're going to go Menu, Analyze graph and 0. Left bound, boom, right bound, and you see that the positive 2.450 appeared, and that's exactly what we predicted it would be. It may be possible that there's more than, or that there might be more than one 0. There could be several. There could be, right here there are 2, and there could be up to infinitely many. And you can use this process to identify them all and label them all in your graph.